Okay, so Tanner, help me out. What am I doing first on number 2?
Are you changing b to -26?
Well, sometimes, but today it's going to be negative what? Don't tell him. -26.
Oh yeah, 24. Sorry, I made a stupid mistake.
That's all right, Tanner. It's not the end of the world. Right, now look, just to make sure, because I don't know how you guys did last year. I'm not sure what you did, what you didn't do. But here's what I want you to do. After I display it, if you can just look at it and tell me the answer, that's good enough. All right, because I'm expecting you to know how to do this already. This is just kind of a review. So I would want everybody to say, we're just subtracting 9 from both sides. Everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
And if we subtract 9 from both sides, then B is equal to -24. All right, now, do I care if you put that step there? No, but if you're looking at me like, you slow down, I'm not sure, then put that step in there. That's what I'm doing. We're isolating the variable. To isolate the variable, you have to remove all the garbage around it. The +9 is the garbage. So to get rid of the +9, I have to do what? -9. All right. Here we go. So for question number 4, I'm assuming everybody can just look at that and say, obviously A is 4. The question is, though, to do that, we're undoing multiplication. So to undo multiplication, we just do what? Divide both sides by 7. That is not necessary. That's just me showing you. All right, because if you don't know A is 4, we're in a little bit of trouble. All right, we're in a little bit of trouble. All right. So now, with that being said, all right, I now need to review with you what to do when we see fractions. I want you to tell me from now on, whenever you see multiplying a fraction, that you're supposed to multiply by the reciprocal. All right, there you go, multiplying by the reciprocal. So the reciprocal here is -3/2. So we're going to multiply both sides by -3/2. Now, some of you, this is necessary. Some of you are like, I've been multiplying fractions since I was in 4th grade. That's too easy. Do I have to show the work? I don't care. No. You have to know the process, though. All right. So everybody's looking at this saying D is equal to, we know a negative times a negative is a positive. So you always divide first. What's 18 divided by 2? And then times 3. There you have it. D equals 27. That is the answer. So when you are eliminating a fraction, you're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Now, if you didn't know that, we're not making a big deal of it right now. All right. By the way, I'm expecting you to get the problems right. We're not celebrating when we are correct. All right. You're supposed to get all the answers correct. All right. Now, again, I want everyone listening because I really don't like repeating myself. So here we go. Tell me. What's your question?
Why don't you make it negative?
Why don't I make what negative?
When you make it 6 times 3 with the negative times. You divide 18 by 2, but then you have to multiply it by, oh wait, never mind, 18.
That's what I'm saying. You keep your hand down. All right. I'm limited to your number of questions. Pay attention. You can do this. All right. 100% you can do this. You're brilliant. All right. So let's go. Pay attention. All right. We're on number 8. Obviously, we don't have to do much work here. We're just dividing both sides by 2. You don't have to write that step if you don't want to. We just know automatically F is equal to, yes, -19. -19. Moving on, because we're kind of in a hurry. Number 10. All right, how do I undo subtraction? We do what? Add, right? So listen, if this will help, put a +9 and a +9. Now, what happens to -9 and +9? Yes, yes. So that means H is equal to what? 0. H is equal to 0. All right, let's try number 12. All right, we have another fraction. So
So you do 5/3,
that's correct. You're multiplying by 5/3.
and then it's J equals negative
Yes.
15.
Say it again.
J equals negative 15.
I'm liking that. J equals negative 15. All right, here we go. Now I throw in some decimals to try to mess you up. If you're good at adding and subtracting decimals, this is pretty easy. So what am I going to do to both sides? Add what? Yes, add 1.6. And then, of course, everyone, David's going to tell me is what? What is that?
1.56.
Close.
4.
No, you add it. Now listen, here's how your brain's supposed to work on this. 3 plus 1, 4, right? But you had to borrow or you had to carry that over. So instead of it being 4, it's going to be what? You with me now, right? I mean, I know you know that, but I'm saying I'm trying to show you how to mental do it, right? You know 9 plus 6. I don't like to do all that stuff anymore. I just like to add from left to right. So I did 3 plus 1, and then I looked at 9 and 6 and go, oh, that's going to be more. So instead of it being 4, it's going to have to be what? 5. Thank you. 5.56. All right, 5.56. All right, here we go. Let's check out. 16. I don't really like decimals. All right, but I do understand that I'm just dividing by 1.4, right? Who can look at that and say, obviously the answer is? What is the answer? Tell me.
Negative 0.5.
Negative 0.5. I prefer fractions. Yeah, negative 1/2. Is everybody with me on that? All right, let me just show you just in case you're confused. Dividing by 1.4, dividing by 1.4. J equals, I like this to be 14 and that to be 7. 7 over 14, correct? 7 over 14 is what? 1/2. Now's the time you're supposed to say, well, I didn't do as good on my arithmetic on my last test. Now I'm really going to make sure I know my arithmetic. So does anybody have any problems with that being negative 1/2? Everybody's good? All right, let's continue on. Again, multiply by the reciprocal. So everybody's just going to put a 7 over 6, and we're going to try to reduce that. So L is equal to Cooper. Reduce that for me and tell me the answer. What goes into what?
6 goes into 18 3 times.
Good.
7 goes into 35 5 times.
Yeah.
And then, so it would just be 2 times.
Close.
Negative 3.
Yeah. Negative 3/5. Now I'm just begging you, if you're not sure, I wish you would just speak up and say, hey man, I'm sorry. For whatever reason, I forgot the fractions. Can you just show me the fractions? If you're not asking me a question, that means you know how to do multiplying fractions. Right? That's all it's saying. Tell me.
I don't really understand which one you do first with the second half. I get how you.
What difference does it make what I do first?
I understand how you multiply by the reciprocal to cancel out 6 7s. But
Okay.
for 7 over 6, with the negative 18 over 35.
7 goes into 7 how many times?
Once,
7 goes into 35.
5,
6 goes into 6.
once,
6 goes into 18.
3.
What are you asking me? You good now? All right. Hey, listen, earlier I was kind of kidding, but you understand what I mean, right? I need laser focus out of you. All right. Sometimes I think you're working when I'm talking, and that means you're not hearing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is always important. You understand me, right? All right. Thank you. All right, here we go. We have another dividing with decimals. I don't like it. All right, but I'm trying to show you how simple dividing decimals, because we want to work it as a what? Fraction. So we're just going to divide by 2.4, specifically negative 2.4. But that means the answer is just going to be what? Wait a minute. That means the answer is going to be positive, right? So when I'm looking at that, I don't see the decimal. I just see 168 divided by what? I just see 168 divided by 24. Is everybody comfortable with that information? Now, let's say I didn't know what the answer was. All right, I'm going to show you how you can divide pretty quickly now. I can look at that and say all the numbers are divisible by 4. So I know that 4 goes into 16, 4, 4 goes into 8, 2, and 4 goes into 24, what? 6. Now, instead of doing 168 divided by 24, I'm just doing 42 divided by 6, which is obviously what? That's why I like fractions. That's why I like fractions. Yes, sir.
I subtracted on that one.
I can't help the way you do it wrong. I just can't help that. Do I care how you did it wrong? I could care less. If you did it wrong, I don't want to hear about it. Just say, oh, that's multiplication. I should have what? I should have divided. And I'm not trying to be funny. You see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, if it's next to it, you divide. If it's
Yeah, multiplication. How do you undo multiplication? You see what I'm saying, right? All right. And again, some of you guys are wanting to show me how you did it wrong. Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't make any sense. Up there on the board, you can believe that's what? That's correct. All right. So you changed to what I did. All right. And if you made a mistake with your arithmetic, let's figure it out. All right. Anybody else have a question with that? Hopefully you like my technique with fractions. All right. To me, it's much easier. All right, here we go. 22. Now, everybody, of course, we know to get rid of addition, we just do subtraction. So everybody in here is good enough for your mental math to say Q equals what? 2.2. If you want to put minus 7.4, go ahead and do that. All right, if you need to do that, go ahead and do that. But you need to practice your mental math. And to me, everybody should know that. Everybody good with that? All right, I'm happy with you guys. All right, let's look at 24 now. Uh-oh, I did so many of these because kids don't know fractions very well. All right, so what am I doing with 3/5? Tell me.
I'm multiplying by reciprocal.
Which is what?
5/3.
Exactly. This is 5/3. I just crossed this out. And now you can tell me S equals what? Shh.
I put negative 15/1.
You put the right answer. Just negative 15 though. Negative 15. Is it wrong to say 15/1? No, but 15 divided by 1 is 15. Yes, ma'am. Yes, but let me explain something to you. You can always do that, but it's always easier to do the division first. You see what I'm saying? 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 times 5 is 15. All right, easier to do the division first. Thank you.
You did that by like turning 45/3, right?
Well, that's what she just said. 45/3 is 15, but listen, I told her, I don't want you doing that. I prefer that you do what first? Why do we do the division first? Because the numbers get what? They get smaller. I'd much rather do 9 divided by 3 than 45 divided by 3. That makes sense, right? All right, everybody good? All right, thank you. All right, let's knock out some more. Okay, this is all kinds of trouble here. Subtracting 9/7. Everybody agreeing with that? All right, so let's see how you are with subtracting 9/7, subtracting 9/7. Now, of course, I want everybody to write as an improper fraction. So everybody should be able to say that's just. Everybody agree with that? All right, so here I'm going to ask you a question. Let's see how brilliant you are. 2 is how many sevens? How many? 14. All right, now how do I know that? Because 14 divided by 7 is what? 2. So is everybody agreeing with me? 2 is 14/7. It's like you have 2 pizzas, you cut them into 7 slices each. That's what that means. Everybody happy with that?
Yeah,
Now, is everybody comfortable with it being negative 23/7?
I'm comfortable with that, but why didn't we do the reciprocal thing with this?
Because this is not multiplication. Tell me.
Why not use that?
You don't have to ask me to use the restroom. The restroom is super close. You just hurry up out, come back in. All right? Yes. 14 plus 9 is 23, right? You agree with that? Now, are you comfortable with writing 14 over 7? You think so? No, I don't want you to think so. I want you to say, obviously, 2 is 14 over 7. If you don't, just tell me. Be brave. Okay, so look right here. Don't ever be afraid to ask me a question. I mean that, okay? So this denominator is 7. Do you agree? This denominator is a 1. I need it to be a 7. So I just multiplied by 7. Multiplied by 7. Now you know. It's that easy. All right? Yes.
Why not we put it into a mixed fraction?
Because in advanced math, we don't use mixed numbers. We do improper. Okay, improper. Unless, of course, you're just adding 2 mixed fractions together. You do it as mixed. Right? It's much easier to do improper. Okay? All right. So now we're practicing our dividing decimals. All right. So this now is when we divide by negative 1.8 divided by negative 1.8, I end up with, is it going to be positive or negative? Negative. All right. Now, technically, I need to move the decimal how many times? Twice, right? Because I don't want a decimal in the denominator either. So I would want everybody to look at that and say, that's just 612 over what? 180, right? Now, does everybody see, I can just look at that right off the bat and say 6 goes into all those numbers, right? Do you agree with me? 6 goes into those numbers. So then I'm just writing that as 102 over 30. Does everybody agree with that? Now I know it's divisible by 2. So we can say that's 51 over what? 15. And 3 goes into each of those, 17/5. So that's my answer. Negative 17/5. Now, if you prefer to write out the decimal, you can tell me negative, and then that would be 3.4. But I just don't like doing the long division. All right, let's move it on. Okay, here we go. We're doing some more fractions. Sebastian, are we doing the reciprocal for this problem?
No. because-
No, we are not. Thank you. We are not. We are just adding 2/3. Right? And when I add 2/3, I need a common denominator. So 2/3 is how many 6s? 4 6. So somebody help me. Y would equal negative 3 over 6, which equals
Oh, negative 1/2.
negative 1/2. Thank you for that. All right, now take a break here for a second. Look up on the board and make sure you're good with that. All right, I don't want to go too fast. And if you're not sure with the fractions or the decimals, now's the time. Anybody have any issues? That's not bad, right? All right, here we go. 32, obviously A is what? Somebody help him.
Not 1.5.
Definitely not. What are we dividing by? Well, I don't know why you guys are staring at me. Negative 8/3.
Oh, that's simple.
Anybody have a problem with that?
No.
Yeah, that's an answer, guys. That's a fraction. 8 doesn't divide by 3 evenly. So you just leave it as the fraction. I mean, I know what some of you are saying, like, can I write it as 2.6 repeating? We're not doing decimals. Leave it as a fraction, reduced form. Everybody good with that? All right, let's try 34. Wow.
That's tough.
Very.
Yeah, slow down on this. All right, this is rocket science here.
What is this?
Yes.
You need to work for NASA to get this one right.
Yes,
This is- it's not-
this is,
I can't believe I got that one right.
that's your grade.
This is SAT.
Oh, that's nice.
You're welcome. Any questions? All right, here we go. Again, we are multiplying by the, is the answer positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. And what's the reciprocal?
7.
Okay. And so what can I reduce? So final answer.
14.
Is it positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. I believe 14/3. Everybody happy?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Now we're practicing our mental math here. G, come on, guys, equals,
Negative.
say it,
Negative 5.56.
negative 5.56. I would want you to know that. Anybody have any issues with negative 5.56? All right, here we go. So is I going to be positive or negative? Negative. Now let's write as a fraction. What fraction are we going to write it as first? What fraction am I writing it as? Stop. I said a fraction and you're telling me 1.4. Stop. No one talk to him. Yes. There you go. 399 over. You are amazing. All right. That's what I want. 399 over 140. You move the decimal twice. Does everybody agree with that? Now, is there anything in here that's divisible by 399 and 140? Who can tell me? What does that mean? Is that the answer? Yeah. I don't think 399 can be divided by anything besides 3. Yeah, but 140 is not divisible by 3. All right, so I'm happy with that. Anybody have any issues with that? Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. You were wrong. I believed you. I knew I shouldn't have believed you. What number goes into, I was just thinking about it because 140 is divisible by 7.
Oh my goodness.
So is 399 divisible by 7?
I don't know. I mean.
Well, let's figure it out. How many times does 7 go into 39? 5 times, is that correct? Is that right, 5? With a 4 left over. 7 goes into 49.
Oh,
How dare you, Cooper? You bamboozled us.
You were confused, man. Come on, Cooper.
Oh, man. All right. Now I'm pretty happy with that. 57, I know, is 3 times 19, but 20 doesn't go in and 3. No. So that's better. Those of you guys who telling me stories about how that didn't reduce.
Cooper, yeah, Cooper.
how does 7 times 5 go to 39?
How does 7 times 5? What is 7 times 5, Cooper?
35. Yes,
That's
39.
Okay, let's, no, I understand the issues. All right, I promise you. So here we go. Everyone, we're going to practice our long division thanks to Cooper.
Thank you, Cooper. Thank you, Cooper.
7 goes into 39 5 times. 5 times 7 today is 35. Then we subtract. 39 minus 35 sometimes is 4. And then you bring down a 9. All right, so now we practice our division. Thank you, Cooper.
Thank you, Cooper, for teaching us.
All right.
Never trust me again.
Okay, now what do I have a problem here? What's wrong with this guy?
It's a mixed number.
Yeah, we don't want the mixed number. All right. So 1 1/8 is the same as what? Yep. And now I need to multiply by what?
Reciprocal.
And the reciprocal is?
9/4.
So now L, negative times a positive is always a. Now, please look at that. Is there any way to reduce that? No, I don't think so. Okay, with the noises, we're not doing it. All right, 6th grade, all that silliness is gone. What do we got? Final answer. Negative 81 over 32. I'm okay with that. All right, here we go. Let's look at 44. Dividing both sides by. Now, of course, we wouldn't leave it as 16/12. We would reduce that to what? Close. Say it. Yeah, don't forget the negative, please. Negative 4/3. All right, is everybody happy with that so far?
Yes.
All right, moving forward. Uh-oh. Now we're adding 12.4. So here's what I'm telling you about the mental math. Look up so you can see it. All right, when you add 12.4, notice I'm putting 12.4 up here. All right, not that it's a big deal. All right, but just to keep in mind, I know the answer is going to be what? Positive. So now, here's the way I want you to think about it. 12.4 minus 8 is what? 4.4. But then I have to add in another 10th. So the answer was 4.5. You with me on that? Shh, shh, shh. No, again, listen, I'm trying to help you with the mental math. Seriously, think about what I'm just saying up here. I wouldn't subtract 7.9. I might as well just subtract what? 8. Because 12.4 minus 8 was 4.4. But I subtracted an extra 10th, so I have to add in a 10th. That's how I got 4.5. Everybody okay with that? Now, if you want to do traditional and borrow and all that stuff, that just to me was boring. All right. Be good with numbers. All right. Here we go. Again, 48 is the, reciprocal, 8/5. I don't think anything reduces, correct? So I think the answer is there you have it. Negative 72 over 55. All right, so lots of practice today with decimals and fractions. So what else? Is that it? Okay, so now your job is to start on the what? Yeah, some of you need to start on the evens, I agree. The rest of us are going to do the odds. That's homework. All right, that's your homework. All of the odds. All right, chop, chop. The end. Great job today, guys.